Welcome back to Comedy or Worse. I'm here with my very special guest,
Tucker Bailey.
Hell yeah. How are you doing today?
Cool.
Nice. All right, so do you use a stage name?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, cool. Nice. So how did you get into comedy?
I don't know. I'm really big on not really working. So I feel like comedy just hits me really well because I get to just be myself on stage. And in the world we live in now, where it's like everything has so much attention and everything is all about hard work and doing this, doing that. If I can just get on stage and just say a couple jokes about how I don't want to go to work, works for me.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Makes sense. Let's see. So when you first got into comedy, did you get addicted to the comedy right away, or?
Totally. I got addicted to the comedy super right away.
Yeah.
Because it's just I think with comedy, I think the thing I love about comedy is all about taking what people expect of you and breaking it. Yeah. And I think for me, I am a proud slacker. And I just think for me, I think when it comes to the expectation that most people have that you need to work really hard and you need to do a lot of things, I think comedy gives you that escape to break from that with a laugh. And I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, you showed up on time here, so I don't know.
I know. You know what? You got me on that one.
I appreciate it.
No.
Like a slacker.
Yeah, no.
Slacker would be like, oh, when are you going to do the podcast? You keep scheduling and then you're not showing up.
No. You know what? And the thing is too, I was sitting up there and I was I can do one or two things. I can show up on time, or I can really take this gum off my shoe that's been there for about a couple of years. And I decided to show up on time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you need to take the gum off your shoe during the podcast, that's fine.
No, I am really hungry though, so.
I'm sure you can take gum off your shoe and talk at the same time.
Yeah. Oh no, dude! I killed my Pop-Tart.
What happened?
Sorry, I use because you can use Pop-Tarts for anything. So I use Pop-Tarts as for my arches because I am getting older. But I mean, they're edible and also they're good arch supports. Do you want one? I brought two.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. All right, more for me.
Yeah, I try to limit my sugar intake. I had, you buy stuff that has sugar already in it, but there's a lot of breakfast things. They're just more sugar than healthy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Pop-Tarts is definitely not one of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your writing process for comedy?
Well, for me, I come from Buffalo, New York, and so I write mostly about Buffalo, New York. And when I was in Buffalo, New York, I used to work at a pizzeria, and I used to manage a pizzeria there. And I kind of write about all the hijinks and adventures that me and my friends used to have there. So, because again, Buffalo, New York is a blue collar place, so we're known to be hard workers. So me being so anti hard worker, I had a lot of experiences there that I thought were pretty memorable. And I honestly I'm more of a storytelling kind of comedian. So I love just using my stories to kind of inform people and tell people about my adventures. So.
All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you start eating Pop-Tarts out of your shoe?
You know what? I think I started eating Pop-Tarts out of my shoe, or I think the idea dawned on me when I turned 32. Because arch supports just cost too much, dude. They really do. And it's I'm more of kill two birds with one stone. So it's if I'm going to wake up in the morning and my feet are in pain, but also my stomach is rumbling, might as well put a Pop-Tart in there, get it nice and warm, don't even need a toaster, saving more money, and there you go.
Okay.
See?
There you go.
So actually correct myself. I would say I'm a smart slacker.
That's right. Hear that? Be smarter. Don't work harder.
Boom.
All right, so who's the funniest person in your life right now?
That's a good question. Who's the funniest person in my life right now? Man. I'll probably say my boss because he expects me to show up.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, okay. Yeah, like, can I do it number 2?
Sure.
Number 2, okay. Probably the funniest person in my life right now. Probably the funniest person in my life right now, besides my boss, would probably be my best friend back home. One of my best friends back home, MVP. He's just like a real, like, now he's Buffalo born and raised, but he's just like a real, like, he's almost like if you took Drake and you took Jersey Shore and made a baby. Like, he kind of talks like this a lot, you know, and he says things are really great. Everything that he does is really great. So, like, when he talks like this, and he'll be like, listen, America, you know, I do lots of things, including your girl. You know, I also do extra things, but you'll never find out because I have your girl and I also have your pride, you know, because I'm MVP, you know, and he'll also brag a lot. So he'll be like, you know, I'm great because I'm represented by a lot of things, you know, because a lot of things start with M, you know, M&Ms, you know, museums. That means I'm historic. Yeah. So, you know, if anything, he's really hilarious in my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I asked this of everybody. I don't always know the answer, but when did we meet?
You like filled with good questions. So I would say we met at an awesome open mic at Lestat's. And I think we met when, you're there every time, but you had a really hilarious set. So I think one of your songs really got me going. Yeah, and your timing, you got good timing. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Because sometimes I'm like, especially if the song, if it has music and I'm singing, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm singing at the right time, but
no,
I'm just trying. And then if it's off, it's on purpose. That's just remember.
No, I got that. Yeah.
It's a comedy song. It's not supposed to be music.
Like there was one you were doing. You're like, oh, you want to go again? You're like, I'll try. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. That I think that's one of the songs where it's like, it's just fun to improv parts of it.
Yeah.
And it's good and bad because you can improv and it could
go south.
Yeah, it can not go as well.
Yeah.
Just a process of taking all that and it's finding, oh, that part was, when I said that one time it really worked, so try it again.
Yeah, like I think that's why I really love I really love using storytelling in my comedy, because a lot of the stories that I tell are like 100% true. All I'm doing is just turning the characters in the stories up, or in some cases turning them a little bit down. Wow. Yeah, especially the customers I've dealt with. I dealt with some pretty wacky customers back in my day. Yeah. Do you want to hear a story of one?
Sure.
Yeah, I had this one customer who she was like hilarious, and so she called us and she was like, okay, they made my chicken wings wrong, and I was like, oh, okay, ma'am, you know, and I put on my manager voice and I was like, okay, ma'am, that's completely fine. We will gladly remake your chicken wings. And she's like, yeah, I know my chicken wings were made wrong because they were barbecue. Black people invented barbecue sauce. And I was like, oh man, she doesn't know that I'm black on the phone. And I was like, ma'am, I completely agree. I am African American. She hangs up the phone, and I hear her talking. She hangs up the phone. She goes, now he's definitely lying to me. He's trying to tell me he's black. So I get wacky customers like that all the time.
So she hung up the phone, but she was close by, so you could hear her?
No, I could hear her on the phone. Like when she...
Oh, she just said it.
Oh, yeah, I said hung up. Yeah, no. She sat the phone down, and I could hear her on the phone. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Cool. That is a funny story. So have you traveled to do comedy?
No, I mean, like, I did some shows in Buffalo, but, like, besides Buffalo and San Diego, that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So do you have, like, a hobby or passion that's not related to comedy?
Yes. I would say my hobbies and passions that are not related to comedy, I would say would be swiping right on Tinder, and not just really to go on a date, just to see what happens.
Okay.
I'd also say really taking advantage of the free sample rule when it comes to bulk sections, especially bulk candy sections, because it's like they never give you a limit. So it's like something so magical. Why would you like ignore that, right? And then with the expansion of Amazon going into like deserted malls and just acting like I lived there for a day, really worth the trip.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The expansion of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
What does that?
Oh, well, because of Amazon, malls can't really sell anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'll just sometimes if I find an abandoned mall, I'll just sit there and go there and live in there for a day and just see what it's like to have all that space.
Okay. Camping indoors.
Yeah, almost like in a sense, almost like glamping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story where this guy, like, they were like building a mall, and there was like this middle part where it was like, what was it? It was like, I don't know how he did it, but like he figured out there was a space that wasn't being used in this mall, and he just like started living there, and he was like sneaking like furniture in and everything, and he like hooked up to their power and everything.
Really?
And it just happened for like years, and finally just someone like found it.
God.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
God, man.
It was like on a podcast I listened to.
Really?
Or maybe on YouTube.
God.
Yeah, you should.
Sounds like something I would aspire to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or maybe that was me. Who knows?
There you go. Yeah, I don't think they ever really. They caught him in the sense that they found the place, but they never he never got arrested or anything. But also, it's like technically he's not he wasn't trespassing, because they would have to catch him there off hours.
So did he make sure that he stepped off the property during hours?
Yeah. He always like went in and left when the mall was open.
Oh, well, that's just considerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like I think somehow. Yeah, like he just would go to I think it was close to one of the mall bathrooms, and they didn't lock it, so you could just like go to the bathroom. I don't know. It's been a while since I heard it. It'd be interesting to listen to it again.
It sounds historic.
Yeah. So, do you wish you started comedy earlier?
That's a good question. There's a lot of deep questions in this. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it's so weird. You know what? I say no because, again, like, I'm a big storyteller when it comes to my comedy.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of the life lessons that I needed to get, or that I needed to like fumble on, they wouldn't be great comedic stories if I didn't experience them first before I did comedy.
Right.
Yeah. I also think too, like, when it comes to like the world right now, like, as like hilarious as it is, I think we just like care too much about stuff. I think like, I'm a 90s kid, right? Born and raised. So I think the days of like the Zach Morrises, the Bart Simpsons, the Will Smiths, the Ferris Buellers, like, yeah, on the surface, right, you just look at a dude that doesn't want to do anything. But when it comes to a mindset, the mindset is a lot more free, a rent free, if you want to be honest.
Yeah.
So no, I would say if anything, Tucker Bailey comedy is happening at the perfect time.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So what are your goals in comedy?
I would say, well, obviously pay my rent. Pay my rent. Maybe finally get a bed and change the world. Drastic, but 3 main checklist things. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wait, no, pause. And then obviously number 4, educate people on Buffalo. So at the main time, like I may be a slacker, but Buffalo is. Do you know Buffalo has never had like a TV show or really anything really dedicated to it? No. Yeah, right. That's a shame. Even though I live in San Diego now, I love my city, and Buffalo has a lot of stories to say. Yeah, and I think if anything, I would say mine is paying my rent, which I really should do very soon. I would say making Buffalo number 1 entertainment wise would be my number 1 goal.
Cool. Makes sense. So was buffalo sauce made in Buffalo?
I don't know. We should call that woman. Maybe she'll be able to tell us.
There we go. So what's your favorite joke? It could be anybody's joke.
Oh shit! What's my favorite joke? That's a good question. Okay. Okay. Oh man, I was not prepared for that question. My favorite joke.
It could just be your favorite joke that you can think of right now.
Yeah. Okay. It's gotta be. My favorite joke it's gotta be. If I have a favorite joke, it's gotta be Dave Chappelle. And the reason why I like Dave Chappelle so much is that Dave Chappelle, like Dave Chappelle's comedy is all about presentation and timing and intonation. So like I like Dave Chappelle because if you really strip Dave Chappelle's jokes and take away his mannerisms, they're not as funny. But his mannerisms and that little extra critiques he puts on the jokes is what makes them funny. So I would say probably my favorite joke is, highly recommended by the way, is and obviously Dave Chappelle he attacks race a lot, but one of my favorite jokes from Dave Chappelle is when he goes over Sunny D commercials. And he picked this one Sunny D commercial where all the kids, and I'm a millennial, so all the kids like crowd around the fridge, and he makes fun of the fact of the matter that in the commercial that the African American kid takes a double look at the purple drink. Yeah, but that joke's not funny if he doesn't say it the way he says it. Yeah. He says the joke like when he says the joke, he can easily just be like, "Oh," and then the kid looks at the purple drink. That's not funny. He says the joke and he goes, and then you see the one kid and he's just sitting and he goes, "I wonder what that purple drink looks like." Right? Right? 2 different ways of saying them and they're funny, right? And he's also doing commentary on when it comes to how products are marketed to us differently, right? So yeah, I'd have to say that would probably be my favorite joke. Check it out.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So do you have like a favorite fan interaction? Either someone was saying you're doing a great job, or you saw somebody and you're like, oh, that was great.
Oh man. Well, believe it or not, I have, but I would say my best interaction thus far. I think my best interaction thus far was I was doing an episode of Pickup and Delivery, and while I was filming the episode, there was like a lady at a 7-Eleven that was watching it from afar. And at first she didn't seem like she was just enjoying her cigarette and just going about her day. And like while we were filming the episode, she was actually laughing to the episode. Wow. And it's like those simple things, like and she later told us she was laughing at the episode, right? Because we were doing all these takes and stuff like that. And it's like those simple things, because comedy's hard, even though I don't really care too much to like. I'm in comedy for the passion, not so much the dollar. But it's those little things that kind of remind you why you're doing it. You know, just for people who are just having a common day, just to give them a chuckle.
Oh yeah. So what's the premise of pickup and delivery?
Yeah, the premise of pickup and delivery is it's a show about honestly having all the hurdles and responsibilities of adulthood and trying to dodge them. Like I think like one of the things in life that we don't pay attention to because it's like so automatic is how, you know, as soon as you turn 18, right, the pressures of life are kind of shoved into your face that you have to do things a certain way, and when you don't do things a certain way, that's when you get conflict. So like for myself and then my best friend Ben Jobber, who's in the show, we're two upstate New York slackers that are trying to dodge the responsibilities of adulthood, paying rent, getting a career, even when it comes to the dating world, like, you know, you're expected to have like a certain stature, a certain salary, but what's wrong with me just being me, right? At the end of the day, yeah, I'm a slacker, and yes, I do have crumbs of Pop-Tart in my shoe, but, you know, there's other qualities about me that people should like that doesn't have a dollar amount.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when someone asks you something where it's like, I just recently had someone be like, oh, I live in this area, where do you live? And I'm like, like, this is an interesting early question. You know, It's like, I mean, I answered it, but still, it's like,
it's like too much too soon.
It's like, why are you asking that?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I live in La Mesa. What neighborhood do you live in? And I'm like, yeah. It's so interesting. It's crazy to me, even like, you know, I'm 53 and like, it just never ends. Like even like older women are still like so obsessed with like, you know, do you have a house or you know, like it's like Jesus Christ. I mean, it's just, society says I should own my own house by now, but no, I don't. I don't even if I had the money, I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, yeah, especially in California.
You just have to like, because then you're just trapped there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, like, and it's like again, that's why I like doing the Tinder swipe right, because it's like I mean, they would say my standards are low. I would say my standards are a good Tucker level, but it's like to see the people who actually are able to look past that is very far and few between. Yeah. You know, like when you I almost feel like sometimes when you go on dating apps, it's not even like you're going on a dating app. It's almost like you're looking at baseball cards. Like almost you're looking at stats. Right. Yeah. Now, obviously, my stats are significantly low. But when you go on there, you're looking at stats. You're not really looking at people, right? Yeah.
Well, I think people also want to see how you interact, and someone could be very successful but be super creepy over the dating app. Yeah,
no, totally, dude. Totally.
Just because you're rich and successful doesn't mean you're gonna do a good job.
Yeah.
And then maybe some people would like overlook that. Oh yeah, he says some weird fucking things, but look where he lives.
Well, yeah,
look
like
how much money he makes.
Yeah, no, and I would honestly say like to go back to like you know this is not just a plug, but I would say to go back to like our show. That's the point of the show, is because like my friend Ben Jobber and me, we're also slackers on the show, but the show is about a bunch of people working in a pizzeria who would also be considered by standards a slacker. But when it comes to the people in the show, as you watch more episodes of the show, you find out the people in the show, there are qualities about them that they have heart and they have value, right? That it's not really about their typical attributes. Like they work at a pizzeria. Some of them like close to their 40s, right? You wouldn't necessarily say they're winning in life, but then when you look at what when you look at the gems that they do have, you might consider that they are.
Sure, but have you considered? Well, let me ask you this: in your show, are your characters making a show?
No.
Right. So you're in your show. They're more of a slacker than you because you're making a show, and not a lot of slackers wouldn't be doing that.
It's true.
A lot of slackers wouldn't even try comedy because that's work.
True.
A lot of slackers wouldn't come on someone else's podcast.
Well, you know, I mean,
I'm not trying to I'm just saying your definition is a little different than other people's definition.
I would, but okay. I would say, you know what?
You're trying to be more. I would say you're trying to be more creative, right?
True.
You'd rather be making your money through creative processes.
Yeah, but you know what? Like,
you're like an artist. I'd say you're more of an artist than a slacker.
Yeah, but I would, you know what? I would say though, but I think the premise of it all is that, like, I think you're right, but I think the way we think on a more grander scale is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, in society, we should value art.
Yeah. And
if someone's pursuing art, they shouldn't be seen as lesser than or a slacker. Or
whatever. Yeah. Agreed. So, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, I am very passionate about making a show for my city. So, in that sense, you got me. Yeah. I'll work hard for that all day. Don't tell the people in Buffalo though.
Makes sense. So do you guys have like merch for the show?
Or? We're working on getting T-shirts. So we are working on getting T-shirts for the show. We do have stickers, but we just give those out for free. But we are currently working on having getting T-shirts for the show. We're hoping to at least have T-shirts for the show by spring.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And it'll just be the logo, or
we're still kind of working on the slogan on the shirt.
Sure.
But it's definitely going to be the logo, and it probably be the logo on the back, and then probably just our name in the front. We want to keep it simple.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, with our show, we're not trying to be cool. We're trying to just let things naturally be cool. We're trying to be more organic.
Yeah. Makes sense. So what made you guys come up with the name?
Oh man, it's crazy. So the name, that's a good question. So really, 100%, the name came. And I remember like it was yesterday. Me and Ben were in a pizzeria, and a lot of times we'd have customers come, and customers would sit up there and say to us, because the thing about sorry to be all over the place. The thing about all of us too is like most people in places where they work. We would work at the pizzeria, and then everybody, and because I like to donate to the community, so everyone would come to my parties after work. So we would have parties every night after work, and so we'd always have stories to tell and things like that. Yeah. And then that helped us all kind of bond as friends. And so due to that, we would all I guess you can say we'd always fool around at work, right? Because at the end of the day, it's still like a 9 to 5, and customers would always say, you guys are just having too much fun at work. And it was a lot of customers that would just be like, for like working like a fast food joint, you guys are like having way too much fun being here. And one day we were just joking around, and we were like, man, like everybody keeps saying that we almost like should make a show of it. And at the time, there was a show that TBS was trying to really push big time called 12 Items or Less.
Oh, okay. Heard of that.
Yeah, and so I was just sitting there, and I was just like, yeah, if we had our own show, it should just be pickup and delivery. And the whole room just stopped. The whole room stopped. Yeah, the whole room stopped. And like even my manager at the time, shout out to Danielle, even my manager at the time, she was very upset that we weren't cooking pizzas, but she literally turned to me and she was like, that's a fucking brilliant idea. Yeah, and we just went from there, and then we started taking all of our funny stories and all of our like hijinks and all our little things, and we just started making them into episodes.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's when the magic went from there. I'll remember that day like it was yesterday, because literally the whole room, as soon as I said it out loud, the whole room was like, "Oh, like that works." Yeah,
that's so cool. So, do you guys ever film at work?
So like right now, the one thing that we are working on is partnering with a local pizzeria, because we do want to give back to the community. So like, I'm not really big on traditional work ethic, but I'm super big on support and community. So the one thing we're looking for right now is we are looking for a local pizzeria to partner with, so we can continue to film our reels and our episodes there. because we're even going to start a whole nother reel series for our YouTube channel. Because right now we have our episodes, and then we have our mini episodes of the I Know Tucker episodes, and then we're going to start filming mini episodes as well. So right now we are looking for a local pizzeria to kind of partner with. But with the episodes that we've filmed thus far, that's just been honestly just random pizzerias and random locations that have been willing to donate to our show.
Donate the space?
Yeah, donate space. Yeah.
That's cool. Nice. So what's your favorite place to do comedy right now?
My favorite place to do comedy right now, I'd have to say. So I know because that's where we met. But let me explain. So my favorite place to do comedy right now is Lestat's, but I'll explain why. Because
you get 10 minutes. I mean,
you get 10 minutes, but it's like the perfect training wheels. Like if I have a new joke, I take it there. If I'm working on, like, as I told you, I'm like a big fan of like all the little things that make comedy work. The timing, the intonation, stuff like that. So like I've taken like jokes that I've probably said 100 times at that cafe, and I've tweaked them a little bit. Like maybe when I say this word, I should say it with like a big voice, and then with this word, I should say it with a small voice. Like the joke that that everyone really likes is the joke that I talk about. I talk about when me and my dad got into an argument about a pizza he ordered. And that joke, I've constantly edited, like how I say it, what I say in it, throwing little jokes in there, all of it, just crafting it. So I guess for me, I love performing in the open mic in the coffee houses because I love the workshop of it all.
Yeah.
I love how I have the ability just to kind of tweak the dials and just kind of make things, as perfect as they can be, I guess.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, even if everyone's there to perform, they're not all there to perform comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there might be poets or playing music or whatever.
Yeah,
or friends of people performing.
Or musicians, yeah.
Cool. So what was your family life growing up?
So I mean, my family life growing up was pretty chill. Like I had like a typical kind of like suburban life. Like there were no drastic things here. That doesn't mean my family wasn't hilarious though. My family was super, super freaking funny. Like my dad's probably like the cheapest man in the world. He's also a dude that he doesn't like to deviate from things that if he knows it as it is, he will not deviate from it. Like with my dad, my dad's favorite show is Seinfeld, but he pronounces it Steinfeld. And he will, to this day,
he puts an extra T.
Yeah, he throws an extra T on there, and he doesn't care who. You can be Jerry Seinfeld yourself, and he'll be like, "No, it's Steinfeld." Yeah, and he's been like that like our whole entire childhood. Like I even remember when I was younger. So like again, 90s kid, I really wanted like a pair of Tommy Hilfiger jeans. Like I wanted them so bad. And
so you were a Brands kid.
Yeah, I was a Brands kid, right? I was totally a Brands kid.
Part of the machine.
Yep. That's why I'm working so hard to get out of it. And so I was like, Dad, are you going to get me the Tommy Hilfigers? You're going to get me the Tommy Hilfiger? He's like, I'm going to get you the Tommy Hilfigers. You're going to get them. You're going to get them. And you're going to like them too. You better like them. Right? So, it comes Christmas morning and I sit up there and I take the package and I'm all like doing a Christmas story. Like this is almost like these jeans are my BB gun. So I'm like sitting up there unwrapping them and all this other stuff, throwing wrapping paper everywhere, and I hold up the jeans and my dad's all like, "You like them jeans, don't you?" And I'm like, "Dad, did you just buy regular jeans and draw the Tommy Hilfiger tag on the jeans?" He's like, "Yes, and you're gonna love them jeans every day. Those are Dad Tommy Hilfiger jeans. You're welcome." Oh yeah, he drew the whole thing by himself. Oh, it was a masterpiece. Thanks, Dad. Yeah.
Did you wear them?
I don't know if you heard the strong black dad voice. Yes, of course I wore.
Oh my god! So did you get a lot of shit for that wearing those?
Yeah, I know. I got a couple names when I was in school. I got the popular one was copy and paste. So But it's okay. I just took it with stride. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, but besides that, like my childhood was like, it was pretty, it was cool. Like my siblings are cool too. Believe it or not, my work ethic is kind of low. My brother's is like super low. So like my brother, but the thing about wait, do I have enough time to talk about my brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Older or younger?
Younger. So I will say with my brother is like a mastermind. I don't know how it is. Maybe it's just his charm, but like he constantly is able to get another job. He's gotten fired 1,000 times, but I think the most heroic thing about him is that not only can he get another job again and again and again, somehow he keeps getting a job again and again and again at the same place, which is Amazon. So he constantly keeps getting hired back by Amazon as an Amazon driver, but he keeps crashing their cars. Yeah, at least 5 times he's crashed their cars because he said that he was I think he said that he was in his mind, he said that he was really in the moment of delivering. In the moment. Yeah. But somehow Amazon just keeps rehiring him.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if he's like still on the page out of my mom's handbook. Because my mom back in the day, so we can have the cable on, she would put the cable in different names. So I don't even know. He might be applying in like different names just so he gets rehired again. But like by the 5th time he got fired and then got rehired, I was like, you know what? We're all really upset. But I think we're all missing the genius of this right now. The genius. And then every time, like I remember the one time me and my dad went to go pick him up and we're just like, dude, what happened? And the car's all like in a pole and he's just like, I don't know. That guy somehow gets rehired 5 times flat. So I don't know. That's just genius. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much my family in a handbasket. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
So what's your earliest memory?
Oh man, I was not expecting these deep questions. I would say
Always be prepared.
Yeah, right. He caught me. I would say my earliest memory is I would have to say, oh yeah, okay. So one of my earliest memory, and this is probably why this is my earliest memory, is there was this girl. Her name was Sarah Benjamin.
Oh,
and
shout out
to Sarah. Right, got that minivan now. But anyway, so we were in middle school, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. When the bell rings, right, when we walk home, I'm gonna ask her out on a date. I'm gonna ask her to the dance, right? And so we're walking, right? And at first everything's going good. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, we're doing the back and forth. I'm getting a couple chuckles here and there, right? Like even some chuckles where I'm like, is she laughing with me or at me? Right? And then we're sitting there walking and then I'm literally about to ask her on a date. And because my head is turned this way, I don't even realize it. I walked right into a stop sign. Wow. Totally just knocked myself right out into the stop sign. Damn. Yeah. And then she went to the dance with Tommy. So it didn't work out that way.
That's awful. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. Her sister picked me up though. Yeah, so we went on the date together. Yeah, that worked.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Happy ending.
Yeah, sloppy seconds.
Cool. So what's the biggest audience you've performed for so far?
Not that big. So I would say the biggest audience I've performed for is, oh man, what is it called? I did an open mic. Shoot, I forgot their name. Dang. Maddie Smith just performed there too. Shout out to Maddie Smith. Oh man, I think American Comedy Co. I did one of their open mics.
Oh, cool.
I think that was probably the biggest one I've done thus far.
How did it go?
It went good. I mean, like I as a performer, I'm not going to sit up there and say I didn't have some areas that I think I need to work on, but it went good. I think the thing for me is, in all honesty, like how much Buffalo I want to put in my comedy, like, right. Because you want to make sure it's not overbearing. You want to make sure it's like tasteful, you know. So I guess for me, I think the thing I have seen from performing is like, I think right now I have a good balance of how much Buffalo I put in my comedy, because you like obviously growing up in Buffalo and growing up in San Diego are two different things. But I think the one thing that really works and works with our show too is that at the end of the day, there's qualities that all humans or all people go through that you can relate to no matter where you grew up.
Yeah, makes sense. Sweet. So when you're telling your stories, are you doing different like voices for the different characters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like, in the show or in my stand-up?
Well, I guess either one.
Yeah, I mean, like, so like, sometimes for our show, I will like play other characters, especially when it comes to voiceovers and things like that.
Okay.
But when it comes to the stand-up, I will definitely like voice other characters. You know, again, shout out to my boy MVP. You know, another character in the show that I would do is my boy Iggy, because he's just like so Iggy was my manager when I was a manager, but he was like the GM, so he was the general manager.
Right.
And he just like, I think a good way to describe him is like, he's just that like straight up Italian, no nonsense, kind of like, picture Robert De Niro in a Buffalo Bills jersey. That was this guy. Like, he would be like, "You're fucking doing it. You're fucking doing it." He was that. Like, I remember the one time, I closed the restaurant and I was like short a couple of bucks because I wanted to get this keg for this party, and he caught me and he's like, "You're paying back every cent. You're paying back every cent as if you owe the fucking gumball machine too. You're paying back every cent." So like everything like with him had to be like this like Goodfellas like moment, and it'd be the most hilarious thing because like he was, but I don't know, he was almost like in as hard as he was on us, he was like a dad figure to all of us, but he was a pretty intense dude. Yeah, he was a pretty intense dude. Yeah.
So how many minutes of comedy do you think you have?
How many? What do you mean?
Like if you had like a 10-minute spot, you could.
Oh yeah.
With good comedy. Or?
Yeah. So like right now, because I'm mostly doing open mics, I'm only my routine is only about 10 minutes long. So I'm really just crafting like the perfect 10-minute kind of spot right now. Right. Yeah.
Cool. Did I already put you on the list for be a feature at Quantum Brewing?
No, not yet.
Yeah. I'd like to have you as a feature.
Yeah.
So you just like pick a Friday or Saturday.
Down.
Yeah, I'll do that after the podcast. Remind me, please.
Will do.
Let's see. What's the worst thing about comedy right now?
Oh, I gotta give you props in your questions, dude. Yeah. These are like...
Well, I'll try on air.
Yeah. These are like TED Talk level questions. Dang. Okay, what's the worst thing about comedy right now? I think the worst thing about comedy right now is... I would honestly say, the worst thing about comedy right now, or at least something I guess we have to be careful about, is I think with comedy, and this is me speaking as a person of color, I think with comedy, the one beautiful thing about comedy is meant to explore. And I think sometimes if we get too caught up in like what people say, we don't pick up the message, right? So like again, like to go to Dave Chappelle's joke about the sports drinks, right? In a way, you can ask yourself, how well would that joke do in this day and age, right? But I think that's the only thing I'm worried about is like Dave Chappelle said that joke completely like on the surface, he's making fun of an African American's glare at a purple drink. the subtext is that he's pointing out to especially people who might not know that when it comes to certain communities, especially with the African American community, that there are certain products that are pushed to us more. Like so in Buffalo, if you go to Genesee Street, shout out, right? The one thing you'll see on every corner is a Rent-A-Center, a McDonald's, a corner store, Family Dollar, right? These are all things that are purposefully marketed to us. Where if you go into a more suburban community like Amherst, you are not going to see these things, and if you do, all the stores are pushed in far in between. They're not squished in together. So what Dave Chappelle is trying to show is that, yes, you have one kid where the Sunny D is being pushed to him, but the purple drink is clearly being pushed towards the person of color. And I guess that's my only fear with comedy, is that sometimes if we only look at the surface, we forget to look at what's underneath, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Good. So have you ever been in a car accident? Oh,
man. I did not see that shit coming. Sorry. I don't even know if I'm allowed to cuss. I didn't see that shit coming. Yeah. Man. Okay. I've been in several car accidents. So let me... me and my brother are like neck and neck. Okay, so let me see. Man, I don't even know which one to tell you. Shit. Okay. I guess I'll go with probably the worst one. So I was young, and I got my first car. Okay, and I got my first car. It was like this tiny Toyota Paseo, and it was my first car. I just got it, like, because it's your first car, so you work on it, all that other jazz. And I just got it like running, and it was July 4th, busy time, and there was this cute girl that lived next door to me. And she was out with her friends, and I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna be like, be like a cool, 19-year-old. I'm just gonna like pull out, jump in my car because I have my own car, and I'm gonna just roll them on the block, grab some Tim Hortons, shout out to Tim Hortons, and then go about my business. And so I'm at the light, and again, I'm like 19, still learning the world, and I didn't understand right away, and there was this truck that was like coming this way, and I literally, for some reason, I don't know what I was even thinking, for some reason I thought I had the right of way, and I turned right into the truck, like straight up right into the truck, because clearly the truck did not have to stop. Now you would think, because I'm turning into the truck, that the truck would be super damaged. No, almost like this dude's truck was made of freaking kryptonite. This dude's truck had maybe like a scratch. My tiny Paseo squished like a tin can of tuna. Yeah, I didn't get hurt or anything, but no one got hurt. But literally, like, I got out of the car and my car literally was like crushed like this. Like, you would, like, if you would have came to when they had the tape and everything, if you would have came to it, you would think two Transformers just got into a fight in this intersection. That's how bad it was. And that was actually my first car accident. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you have insurance, or?
I was under my dad's insurance. Yeah. So definitely he had me wear them Tommy Hilfiger jeans for another 5 years.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. So how do you feel about social media right now?
Good question. So, kind of like what I opened with, I feel like social media is too much. I feel like that's why I feel like the idea of the slacker needs to return, because I just feel like we're still in like a hustle culture, but it's burning us out. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes to, like, I'll put it this way, I'll give a quick story. So my cousin, love her to death, she is hood rich can be, right? She makes very low income, probably, like, if there's a minimum wage, she'd be the bite-sized wage, right? And even living like that, she still feels like she needs to post all of her food on Instagram. And I'm telling you, dude, she'll post like the most low budget meals as if she's at a 5-star restaurant. Like, the other day, she made herself like a kid's cuisine, and she sat up there and was just like, kids cuisine, and posted it, right? And like, that right there shows me, like, we are so invested in getting likes and getting approval that even when we're living on low income meals, we still want someone to give us a like and say, that's really cool. Right. And it's just, I guess in a sense, like, I think we just need to just be able to turn our brains off sometimes. And I think with social media, we don't really get to turn our brains off because we're constantly seeking approval. We're constantly seeking likes. We're constantly seeking comments, you know, and we're always looking for what's next. Right. Instead of just honestly taking the time to just pause and just be like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so speaking of social media, how do people find you on social media?
Yes. So pickup and delivery. Well, one, you can also check us out on our website. So that's going to be pickupanddeliveryshow.com. On that website, we have episodes on that website. We also have reels. Also on that website, you'll be able to find our Instagram and also our YouTube page. You can follow us on Instagram. You can also follow us on our YouTube, which is our YouTube is Pickup and Delivery Show on YouTube, and pretty much that's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how many seasons do you think you have in you for that show?
I think
or episodes, or how are you doing it?
I mean, so right now, I think what it is right now is that the way we're building the show is that we want the show to be the next Cheers. So we want, so for you people that don't know, so Cheers is one of those just feel good shows. Like, it's not exactly Seinfeld where it's a show about nothing, but the key thing of Cheers, kind of like I said before, is Cheers is a show about common day people that all work 9 to 5s. And they go, that's why everybody knows your name. It's a place where everyone goes to get away from the bullshit. That's the whole point of Cheers. Cheers is literally a show about common day people trying to get away from the bullshit and using this bar as their way from the bullshit. And then with Pickup and Delivery, that's what we're doing with Pickup and Delivery, is that, yeah, these are all minimum wage workers, but because of the relationships, the bonds, and the experiences they've built in this pizzeria, the pizzerias almost became their way away from the bullshit, right? Yeah. So we hope to create a feel-good show like Cheers that can, I guess it's a high standard, but we want to create a feel-good show like Cheers that we can have multiple seasons with, multiple seasons. Honestly, when it comes to if you really want to ask me, when it comes to streaming and stuff like that, we also would love we're currently still in season 1, but we would love that if we were to get into multiple seasons. I don't necessarily know if we would want to go to an HBO Max or a Netflix, because the one thing we want to also do is we kind of want to bring back, of course we talk about the Slacker, but we kind of want to bring back the indie boom of the 90s. The really cool part about the indie boom of the 90s when it comes to, Kevin Smith, Quentin Tarantino, etc., Wes Anderson, is that it showed a part of society that a lot of people missed. And I think by us staying on a more of a free and accessible platform like YouTube, I think that for us will still be targeting that community. Sure. Yeah.
Have you thought about, or I don't know, do you have a Patreon?
No, we don't have a Patreon.
Yeah, well, I would suggest that you get a Patreon, and you don't even have to charge people. You can still give it away for free, but it's good to have another, because you never know if you're just on one platform, something could go wrong.
Yeah.
With it. So, this podcast is on. I put it up through Spotify, put it on YouTube, put it on Patreon, and you just have to follow my Patreon, and then all the episodes are free. So you might want to think about that.
Okay.
And if it ever gets a following, people want a behind the scenes or extra episodes, you can always have, we want to give this to you, but we got to collect a little bit of money from you or whatever. So that's good way.
We were thinking about starting maybe a behind the scenes, because like even just alone, just like what we go through just to film one episode is like a story within itself.
Yeah. That's definitely recommend that for sure.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing? So, well, if I think of it, I will. Do you have any questions or anything else you want to talk about?
Do you have any questions about Buffalo?
Sure. When was Buffalo founded?
God, dude, I'm clearly dressed like somebody that dropped out of high school. I definitely know it wasn't in 1996. So
when did you move out of Buffalo?
Good question. So I moved out of Buffalo. Probably right before the pandemic. So maybe like 2019.
So, but if you love it so much, how come you moved away?
That's a good question. So I love it so much, and I guess I moved away because I really wanted to give comedy a shot, and I really wanted to give comedy a shot, and I wanted to give directing a shot, and and honestly, like Buffalo, and shout out to everybody back home that is doing the do. Buffalo has a lot of young directors, young screenwriters, young creators in general, but I did want to come out here to see if I can bring a little bit more light back to the city.
Okay. Well, how come you didn't move to LA?
That's actually a very good question, because I just like the pace of San Diego. And I'll be honest with you, facts. So when it comes to, in my personal opinion as a Buffalonian, San Diego and LA, now obviously San Diego's like way higher money-wise, but San Diego and LA almost have the same relationship as Buffalo and New York City. People in Buffalo are not big on New York City. They don't like the fast-paced life. They don't like that it stays open 24/7. They like things that are slowed down. They like to stay with their small communities. And San Diego just had that vibe. Like when I first got here, I did actually go to LA. And LA is cool, but LA is not exactly what it's like when you see it in the movies. And I know that's like a very whimsical thing to say, but that was the first thing that hit me, is like, it's not Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where San Diego, like, I got it immediately. Like San Diego, when I got here, the vibe just matched. It just matched instantly.
Right. But what brought you here in the first place? Like you just
like what gave me like the opportunity to come out here?
Yeah.
So what helped me out in the first place is that my boy Chase, he kept telling me to like come with him. So we both worked at the pizzeria together, and he was a delivery guy, like my boy Ben Jobber, and he was just like, dude, like, why don't we just like take a break from Buffalo and just like come out here? And he was like, if you really want to take this comedy thing serious, like, why don't you just come out with me and we go to California together? And at first I was like, no, and honestly, I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I kind of did it on a whim too. It was like just kind of like, this is my 2-week notice, and I'm going to do it. But I mean, obviously it's 2025 and I'm still here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So his idea was California. And then did you guys do research about what city, or you've been here before?
So his idea was LA first. And we both kind of had this, I mean, he's from Buffalo too. So we both had the same kind of culture shock when we went to LA. We did do research like BuzzFeed and things like that,
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to BuzzFeed. Yeah, so we really did hardcore research. But I mean, at the end of the day, like we did all this research, and you know, but when we got here, it was a whole nother thing. Like, even like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not into like the degrees and stuff like that. I think one of the biggest things though that kind of stuck out to me when I moved out here is like I worked at a pizzeria my whole entire life, right? Now, some people may say that I was employee of the month. Some people may say I was the worst employee they've ever seen. However, I still worked there for like almost 2 decades, right? And like, I thought I could easily get a job when I got up here, and no one would hire me. I even started just making up shit. Right? Like, even just putting in there, like, you know, save the planet with Bruce Willis, right? Just to, like, so people would sit there and want my application, and no one would take me. I remember this one dude was just like, well, we can make you a salad guy, but I'll have to call you back. So it was like, it was tough. It was like super tough when I first got up here. Very tough. Very, very, very tough. Yeah.
Jeez. So LA was a culture shock, and then you're like, let's try San Diego next.
And it just, I'll be honest with you, like, hey.
Or you just started driving south and ended up here?
No, my boy Chase, his uncle owned a restaurant. Rest in peace, Shades. They own a restaurant in San Diego.
There we go.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we can get you guys.
Now we're finding the links.
There we go. Yeah,
drag it out of this guy.
Right. I gotta make you work for it. And he's like, I can get you guys some busboy jobs. And I'm not gonna lie, hey, you have your own opinion, but the first time I came to OB, I know OB is OB, but the first time I came to OB, I was like, boom. Like that had the feel I was looking for, the vibe I was looking for. Like, that felt like Tucker Bailey to me. So, and ever since then, I've always, that's just been my place.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. We did it. We figured out how we got from Buffalo to San Diego.
Winning.
Yep. Sweet. All right. Yeah, that's a good. Do you feel good about the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you can always come back too.
Yep.
That's the crazy part. Yeah.
I'm always down.
Oh yeah. So we'll end the podcast and do a quick promo.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right, so this has been Comedy
or Worse.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.